Welcome to Matters of the Heart with Rashonda, where we explore the topics of inspiration, motivation, wellness, and inner peace. I'm your host, Rashonda, and I'm excited to share my experiences, advice, and knowledge to help us all improve our lives and continue learning. This is a positive and uplifting space, and I guarantee that every episode will leave you feeling empowered and inspired. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's episode. So today will be sort of a tip episode, and I'm not for sure what day this is being posted on. I know last month I said it would be a Sunday or a Thursday, but for all I know it could be a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But I do have a couple of tips today. We're going to be talking about something that everybody is pretty much dealing with. But however, it's necessary because we're at the end of May, and before we get out of this month, we have to talk about mental health, okay? This is what this month was all about. Yes, just in case you didn't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And today, I want to talk about mental health and offer some tips, as well as be a little transparent about my own processes. So today's episode is entitled Mindsets and Mental Stress. Mindsets and mental stress. Are you the type of person that always promises to take it easy, whether it's by way of taking a day off or unplugging everything just so you can get some much needed R&R? Now, let me ask you another question. Do you actually do it? So in this post or in this topic today, this episode, hopefully I'll be able to share a couple of tips with you in hopes that the next time you say, I want to rest, you'll be able to do it. So let's get started. Let's get the chat going. Plus, I have an announcement to share at the end. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. One day, I and my brother-in-law were talking, and he began to tell me how he was mentally tired. Okay, he works all the time, and it seems like, and really, like he never gets a break or has a downtime. And when he is off, which is sometimes only for a day, it's filled with other things to do, such as take the children to the doctor, mowing the lawn, taking care of things around the house that was pushed off on the agenda for his next day off, or meeting with his own doctors. He and my sister are both the same way. When it comes down to some much needed R&R, they just don't have the time for it, okay? And I can totally relate to both of their dilemmas because on top of taking care of my own house, working hard to provide for 2 kids, and making sure I stay on top of my own job and keeping up with what needs to be paid, what I actually did pay, to kids' field trips, to making sure there's money for this and that, and keeping the car running and keeping my own health in check. Where in the world is the time to settle down and breathe? At the end of the day, I'm ready to pull my hair out, like literally. We have to find the time and balance to take care of ourselves. No, seriously. Okay, we do. It's detrimental that we do, not only for our sanity, but for our overall health. I've often heard people say, I'll have plenty of time to rest when I'm dead. And while that is very true, I don't want to, as Rihanna sings, work, okay, until I'm dead or so sick, until I can't do anything at all. Now, some people feel as though they have to plan for some elaborate trip in order to get away and get some me time in, and that's great. But we all know that sometimes plans are meant to be canceled. You don't have to plan for a big trip or go away to some remote location to get a little mental clarity. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have it like that and truly plan to go through with it, then by all means, do what you have to do. But sometimes there are a couple of simple things we can do right now before we plan that big trip, like things that you can do right around the house, okay? But you have to make the time for it. Like, that's the secret to all of this. You have to make the time for it, okay? There's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things that we can do, but if you don't make the time for it, then it's not going to be done. If you don't schedule time to sleep, then, okay, maybe that's some of us. Maybe that's not you. So let's get into some of these tips, okay? Take your time and don't rush it. That's tip number 1. Take your time and don't rush it. When my kids was much smaller and in daycare, I would get off work at 5 p.m. and rush to pick them up before 6 p.m. Otherwise, I get charged $1 for every minute after. I worked like 45 minutes away from my house at the time, and sometimes it was a struggle getting there on time due to the traffic. But I didn't want to be late or pay a fine. Everything revolved around my kids when they were younger, and the thought of me doing anything for myself was a forbidden thought that I didn't think mothers were supposed to have. So one day my boss asked me, Rashonda, why do you rush to get your kids? You need to take some time for yourself. Get off a little early and stop by to grab yourself an ice cream and enjoy it by yourself before you pick the kids up. Now, I'm going to be honest. The thought of her saying that was like death to my ears. Stop for ice cream? Was she serious? But she was right. Sometimes we can rush life so fast that we don't take our time to enjoy the simple things. Just because I had small kids at the time didn't mean that I had to forget about myself. So taking that ice cream break was not only life-changing, but it helped my sanity as well. Number 2, de-stress and rest. De-stress and rest. This is all about finding things you can do to make your you day stress-free, okay? Notice what I said, your you day, meaning this is all about you, such as going to the library, checking out that new food chain or clothing store that just opened up, or scheduling a massage, which is what I am so overdue for, okay? You can schedule this for your next day off, or going to the park and feeding the birds. I know that might be simple, but it's mindless, okay? Or watching the water, or just sitting in your car or under a tree listening to some music, or catching up to that book that's been collecting dust on that shelf that you promised to read months ago. You may have to think about a couple of simple things that you can do, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Have you checked out your downtown yet? Okay, I love my downtown. There's a lot of nice little cutesy shops down there. And some places you can just walk in, it's so beautiful. So have you checked out your downtown yet? I love walking into the shops and just looking around. Getting a good night's rest also helps your mental clarity and your health also, even if you must schedule it. That's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes you have to schedule it. I know for me, I set my downtime, like to go to sleep at 10:30. So it's at 10:30 every night, from 10:30 to 5 or 10:30 to 6. And what that does is it kind of puts my phone on do not disturb. So I'm not getting all those Facebook notifications, that I haven't, or these social media accounts that I have not logged out of. But, it also won't give me texts. It won't send phone calls through, so it's giving me that time to where I can rest. But sometimes, we have to schedule sleep. I have to say, okay, I need to get into bed by this certain time, because if I don't, then I know that, I'm going to get into bed late. Then next thing I know, by the time I really close my eyes and get to sleep, the alarm clock is going off because it's time to wake up again. And then sometimes you're only getting like 2 hours of sleep. So that's not good. So it's okay to schedule your sleep, okay? Even if you have to schedule it, just make sure you stick to it. That's the secret to all of this. You have to stick to it. But listen, I have 2 more tips, which I'm going to get into right after this. Okay, here we go. Sometimes You got to keep a secret. Do you know how to keep a secret? Shh. Okay, so I'm still working on being good at this, but sometimes you can't tell people when you're off work, or if you're leaving work early, or have some spare time in your day, unless you plan to hang out with them, okay? And I say this because sometimes people tend to add their to-do list on your day off. Okay, unless it's an emergency and people need to know you're off for a particular reason, it's okay to keep the day a hush hush, especially if you want to get in some extra sleep or just lounge around the house in your jammies, sipping some tea or coffee and reading the newspaper or catching up on your favorite show. Now that you have the remote all to yourself, if you constantly sound the alarm when you're off work, you will never get any rest. And this is where what I used to do a long time ago. I would tell people, I'm off work tomorrow, I'm off work tomorrow. And then, people will schedule their day or their time around your off day. And then you still don't get no rest. So sometimes it's just good just to zip it up, and just let people know. Or you can just tell, hey, I'm taking half a day off. Or you don't have to say anything at all. Just take the day off. That way you can have that whole day to yourself to do whatever it is you need to do. And like I said, even if that means just catching up on some sleep, okay? Some of us are sleep deprived, all right? Okay, this is the last tip. Let's walk it out. Okay, let's walk it out. Exercise, as I've come to really know it, is a great stress relief. It gets those endorphins going and those energy levels up, making you sure to conquer the day, no matter how hard it may be. Do you eat lunch at your desk? I'm so guilty of this one. So guilty, especially now. I do it more now than ever, and I've done it like plenty of times before. But if I got like a lot of stuff to do, I'll sit there and I eat that salad at that desk. I'll chew that apple at that desk. It's like I do it at my desk and I just keep on working, because it's like, I'm really not giving myself time, but I'm bad at that. So I'm working on that. But I'm learning to stop eating lunch at my desk, and also learning to leave the desk and take a walk. Okay. I'm still going through that too. Sometimes I'll even go to the car, let my seat back and turn on some music and take a nap, or just eat and relax. I'll also take a walk around outside, especially when the day is beautiful. Walking has major benefits for your mind and your health. It helps you de-stress from a long, busy, and hectic day. So, mental health is more than an outside job. It starts on the inside and works its way out. I put a quote on TikTok last week that said, okay, sometimes you need a stop doing list as badly as you do a to-do list. Okay, sometimes you need a stop doing list as badly as you do a to-do list. Has having 1,000 things to do on your to-do list make you feel accomplished? Like, I got this, and this to do. And when you do it, you feel accomplished. Yes, I don't know about you, but I do. And while that makes you feel great, it's taxing on your mental psyche. And you're always doing something for someone else, but never nothing for yourself. That can be mentally challenging. And my favorite, always on, but feel like you can never turn off. Now, sometimes I am like this, personally speaking, because I don't know, when people look at me, they look at me as having like this real big personality. I'm always smiling. I can get along with everybody and all this other type of stuff. And sometimes I don't like that because it's like, it doesn't, it's almost like I don't have an opportunity to really turn off. I feel like I always have to be on. And then when I'm always on, if I do turn off a little bit, then people, are you okay? Are you all right? Something wrong? And whatever. And sometimes it's nothing wrong. It's just, sometimes I just want to be to myself, but I feel like I can't be that in certain environments, or I feel like I've set up this thing with myself where, hey, go to her. She'll make your day bright. Go to her. She's the light. But sometimes my light gets a little dim. But sometimes I feel like I can't really express that or show that, or I feel like because people are so used to me being one way, they can't see me another way. And, it gets into a whole lot of stuff. So sometimes when I'm at home, I love being at home. I love being behind closed doors because I feel like I can really just let my hair down. If I don't want to smile, I don't have to smile. If I want to just lay up all day and not say anything without people saying, "Are you okay? Are you all right? Is something wrong?" Not that I mind that, and I'm glad that people care, but sometimes it's like, I'm good. I'm okay, but I always heard people say, "Well, you carry a lot of stuff in your face," and I really do. So if I'm upset about something or something bothering me, you can tell because it's all, as they say, it's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. It is written all over my face, and I don't have to say nothing. So maybe that's why people say, but sometimes I be turning off and I don't realize I've turned off. And so I'm like, I gotta be on. So sometimes that can be mentally taxing too, because then you feel like I always gotta be on. There's not a space for me to turn off. But, what I do is, like I say, I just stay in the house. If I'm having one of those days, because I don't have to worry about people asking me questions and all this other type of stuff. I feel like I can truly be me. Not to say that I'm faking the funk, outside. It's just sometimes, sometimes you go through things, you want to talk to people, but then I feel like people don't always understand, or, they're going to brush it off with some stuff that, it's like, I don't want to hear it. But anyway, so we all, need to, sometimes we go through stress, and sometimes you go through so much stuff, or it's so much stress until you just don't feel like talking about it. You just want to process it, and you just want to go through it. And I like to go through things my own way, and sometimes that's not always people talking to me or saying anything to me. I need my time to process, and so, if that is you, then, take that time and you do what it takes, whatever it takes to make you comfortable. And sometimes it may not always be talking to somebody else, but the announcement that I am making, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, I, was thinking about it, and I am taking 3 months off. So there will not be another podcast episode until September. I just feel like I need it. I feel like I just need to de-stress, get my mental psyche together, and just, do some things for me. Just over the last couple of weeks, I just feel like it's just been so much going on. I had someone really close to me to pass away, one of my first cousins, and that really bothered me. It bothered me to the point to where you don't realize how short life is, until someone is gone. It just brought back so many memories when my mom passed, and there was some highs, okay, but there was also some lows. And so I'm getting to the point to where I'm like, I'm starting to recognize when I need to take a break, sometimes we wait on people to tell us when it's time to take a break. No, you need to decide when it's time for you to take a break, because sometimes people aren't going to always tell you, they're not going to always say, well, you need to take a break. No, you know when you need to take a break. Okay. And it's nothing wrong with stepping back. Okay. It's nothing wrong with, hey, I can't do this right now. Hey, I need some time. And sometimes people don't understand that. But it's not meant for them to understand. You have to do what's best for you. So I'm doing what's best for me. And I'm going to take a break for 3 months from podcasting. So that was my announcement, that I'm taking 3 months off. And honestly, I want you to think, I'm not saying that you take 3 months off, but I really want you to be thinking about some things that you can do to kind of push back. Maybe you're doing a little too much. Maybe it's stressing you out. Maybe you're under so much stress. Maybe you got this going on. Prioritize your time. Look at everything that you're doing, and you do what's best for you. This person may be doing something every day, but doing something every day may be stressing you out. So you have to do what's best for you. And if it's twice a month for you, then do it. Okay. But look at your priorities, write everything out that you're doing, and look at some things that you can scale back on. It doesn't make you less productive or not an important person just because you decided to push back on some things. It's making you a smart person, and you're looking after and you're taking care of your mental health. Okay. It's not just outside, but it is inside. So there is only one you, and you get only one body. So don't lean on the motto of I'll rest when I'm dead, because we all will one day. But that day doesn't have to be rushed. While we must work to make sure our necessities are not interrupted, we must take out time to make sure our mental stress and mindsets are also on our to-do list of important things to take care of as well. What do you do to maintain your stress levels? Listen, at the end of the day, you have to look out for you. And another thing you have to remember is this: self-care also means taking care of your mental capacity. It's not just outward, but inward. If something is too much for you, voice it, say something, because at the end of the day, you got to look out for you, because everybody else will look out for themselves. Remember, people can be selfish, which is why you have to be selfish too with you and your time. So as we reach the end of this captivating podcast episode, I want to leave you with a closing reflection. In our exploration of mindsets and mental stress, I hope I've shed some light on the power of our thoughts and the impact they have on our well-being. Remember that your mind is a garden, and the seeds you plant within it determine the quality of your thoughts and ultimately shape your reality. During this podcast break until September, I encourage you to tend to your mental garden. Nurture it with positivity, self-compassion, and resilience. Embrace the challenges that come your way as opportunities for growth and learning. Take time to recharge, explore new perspectives, and seek moments of joy and inspiration. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Reach out to your support network, engage in meaningful conversations, and seek professional help if needed. Your mental health matters, and prioritizing it is an investment in your overall well-being. So as I prepare to return in September with more enriching discussions, keep cultivating a mindset that uplifts and empowers you. Embrace the transformative power of your thoughts and unleash your inner potential. So, until we meet again, stay mindful, stay compassionate, and may your mind be a sanctuary of peace and strength. Take care, my friend, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon. Blessings. That was it for today's episode. I hope you were inspired and feel positive vibes whenever you spend some time with me, Rashonda, and the Matters of the Heart podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to join me next time as we dive deeper into our spiritual, mental, and physical journey. You can follow Matters of the Heart podcast on Facebook to stay tuned for what's coming next. Feel free to share the episodes while you're here. Also, stay with me by subscribing wherever your favorite music and podcast stations reside. And as always, watch your heart, because its actions will follow. Thank you for listening.